Las Vegas is no stranger to adversity, from financial crisis to 9/11s to horrible tragedies on October 1st at the Mandalay Bay. The city has seen its share of ups and downs, but nobody was able to prepare it for what happened in the spring of 2020. Hi there, my name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. I've been out here since 2004. And what I've seen in this town has just changed my perspective on how fragile our travel and tourism industry can really be. I'm standing by the MGM Grand with David Copperfield, a theater that seats 750 guests. Questions arise, what do? Fill 20% of the seats, perform to 140 some odd people, or do you just wait it all out? And what kind of impact has all of this had on Las Vegas, the entertainers, the people who live here, the people who call Las Vegas home, and the tourists who want to come in and just have a break from life? The question is, what happens next? What happens in Las Vegas when the curtains fall and the lights go out? So as I'm standing down here by the Showcase Mall, a huge retail shopping center area on the main South Strip, I think maybe a brief history lesson would be a good place to start. So the casinos were allowed to reopen on June 4th. So June 4th, you could gamble, you could play your slots, you could play your tables. Many restaurants opened, and electively some retail chose to open as well. It wasn't even mandatory. But the one thing that remained closed and remained a big, huge mystery was always going to be the shows. By state edict, Governor Steve Sisolak said that nothing where you would sell a ticket to attend a presentation, a concert, a sporting event, or a show would be allowed. So we're still in limbo right now with the government completely shutting down the shows. So even if the shows wanted to actually operate right now, even at a whopping 20% capacity, they wouldn't be allowed to do so by law. We have the National Hockey League's Vegas Golden Knights. We have, of course, the NFL's Vegas Raiders coming in, and nobody knows if these people are going to be performing. But the big question that affects Vegas more than anything are the shows, the David Copperfields of the world, the Cirque du Soleils, the Absinthes, the resident shows like Lady Gaga who come into town and entertain millions and millions of people every single year that support a giant economy that's much bigger than even maybe gaming in a sense. So with that being said, there is no way to even run a show right now. So we have to ask ourselves, what are the powers that be that run the shows actually doing to take care of the problem? What are their plans, and what kind of impacts has that had on our local economy and on tourism in general coming into town? So how did coronavirus affect Las Vegas? What were the repercussions? Well, if you instantly shut down your entire industry, gaming, entertainment, you have some bad unemployment numbers. State of Nevada got to over 30% unemployment. It was actually the worst unemployment ever seen in the United States since, I think, the 1960s or the 1970s. Everybody was out of work. People were all hoping and waiting for the casinos to be reopened. And as they did reopen, many people did return back to work, but in limited capacity. Some of the hotels still not sure what the future is going to bring. There was a bit of a chaos where people thought they were going to back to work in the middle of May. Then the beginning of June looked more likely. And then when it did come, boom, they're instantly called back with about 2 weeks of safety training in order to get to know the job and get to know the right way to do things post-coronavirus to keep the public safe. So honestly, upon reopening, everything looked very optimistic for both the employees working in the casinos and the tourists. Everybody came back really, really fast. Even before opening, people were riding bicycles and just enjoying the restaurants that were open along the strip, even though gaming wasn't allowed to start up. The licenses weren't granted back yet. And now you can see a Saturday on the strip. Maybe it's because it's super hot, and I know I'm sweating profusely, or maybe it's because just a few days ago, the governor mandated face masks in all private businesses. But we're still in an uncertain future right now. So the full consequences of coronavirus have not really been felt in Nevada quite yet. One thing's for sure, though, the spirit of the people is great. People are willing to come back and vacation, but how fast they come back and to what extent they can actually go into the venues, that's going to make a difference in whether or not shows start up soon or much, much later here in Las Vegas. So part of the missing puzzle to solving the unemployment problem and to putting even more people back to work is, of course, going to be the shows. The big shows like Cirque du Soleil, the O Show, Michael Jackson's One, big production numbers, headliners that come through town, or little shows like over at the Saks Theater at the Planet Hollywood. What will it take to get those open? As we've already mentioned, the governor has mandated that we can't sell any tickets for shows until it's safe. Well, when is it going to be safe? And what are the entertainers, the producers, and the people involved in working with those shows? What are they doing in the meantime? So the question remains, what comes next for Las Vegas, Nevada? When do the shows open up? When does the economy finally get back to normal? Some people say years for the economy to recover. Some people say months for the shows to come back. But we're living in too much of an unknown time. Anybody who wants to guess is only just guessing at best. You may not be able to go see Copperfield in Las Vegas, but for every Copperfield at the MGM Grand, there's still an entertainer down on Fremont Street busking his heart out, willing to put on a good show for you. You might not be able to go see Lady Gaga at the Park Theater, but you still have Big Elvis over at the Harrah's performing nightly. All you gotta do is buy a drink. So Vegas is still offering up the entertainment, although it's not the entertainment that we are used to. We still have a world-class city. It's still a great place to visit, as long as you're willing to throw some money in the machines while you're here and make sure you wear your face mask. Until next time, I don't know what's going to happen in Las Vegas, but my name is Steven and I am not leaving Las Vegas. And I thank you for hearing me out. We're talking about shows, coronavirus, Las Vegas, Nevada, and a place I've called home for a very long time.